Good day, people. Welcome to Philly Jawn. And we back this week talking about cryptocurrency, investing, gaining financial freedom, and getting right. Welcome to the Philly Jawn live stream on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Please. Check me out on Instagram at one Philly Jawn. One Philly Jawn. One Philly Jawn. You can email me at onephillyjawn at gmail.com. So how y'all doing this week? We here, and I don't know if a lot of y'all know or may not know, or some of y'all may know about cryptocurrency, and y'all may see what's going on with Bitcoin and things like that. You know, it's very interesting times, people. Very interesting times. I'm fixing my camera here. Move that. Sorry. Getting a view of the people so y'all can see me and see what's going on here. Lighten them a little bit better. This is a podcast that's also available on SoundCloud and Podbean. We're going to talk a little bit about something that I'm actually involved in, and that's cryptocurrency investing, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Um, I just want to enlighten the people like what it is actually, the blockchain technology and things of that nature, what's going on with it, how it works. Um, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an investor who uses these products. I've made money with these products. I also invest in the stock market. Um, I'm trying to gain financial freedom just as everyone else is. You know, that's the bottom line to it. It's like, each one teach one. We can help each other. So any information I may have, just let me know. If you need some kind of information or some kind of help. Um, there is a group on Facebook, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'll put all the information within the links once I finish this live. Um, there's a lot of people joining this group, and there's a lot of information, you know, being given about what's going on. You can hear a lot of naysayers, people saying, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't be a part of it. But I think that it'd be imperative for you to just, really get some information and really try to be a part of it. I'm not trying to sell nobody nothing. I'm not here as a salesperson or anything like that. I'm just an investor, just a regular, normal person. I'm not offering like advice or anything like that. I'm just here as a regular, normal person. That's it. Using the mediums that I have to give out information. Hopefully, I can guide people to, to get what's right and get the understanding of what's going on, and they'll be able to gain some kind of financial freedom in the future. There's no investment that I see out there that's actually going the way that this is going and making the money that it's making on an everyday basis. I mean, you can look at there's a website I use called Coinbase, COINBASE.com. They have all, you can look at the prices and you can buy and sell there also. Check that out. But get as much information as you can, and understand. And I'll give you some brief stuff that I understand of it. Like here, it's this is attributed to ZDNet, where you can check that out, ZDNet.com. It explains what the blockchain is. Blockchain is blockchain is like an algorithm and distributed data structure for managing electronic cash without a central administrator among people who know nothing about one another. Originally designed for cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, but the blockchain architecture was driven by radical rejection of government guaranteed money and bank controlled payments. So it's technology, and the blockchain creates an open ledger that is on many computers around the world. Nodes. Anybody can have a node. It's not like that is somebody owns it or is a central person who owns any of this technology. It's all decentralized, and that's the big thing. Is a decentralized technology. So you don't have a government saying that we can shut this down, or you don't have a person saying that I want this amount of money for this, and if you don't pay us or whatever, we want to cut you off, or you're not going to be a part of this. It's decentralized, peer to peer. There's no difference what they tried to achieve. There's no difference is if you see Bob and you know Bob, and Bob asks you for $5, you pull $5 worth of fiat currency out of your pocket and you hand it to Bob. There's no difference in that. It's all digital. And what happens is if you ask me for money, I can send you Bitcoin and you'll be able to spend it wherever you are in the world. Most Bitcoin is either like you have merchants who accept it, or like I have a Visa card that's connected to my Bitcoin, so I can go in any store around the world and I can spend just as if I was debit, credit, just like a regular transaction, but the transaction is being debited from the Bitcoin. And some people will say, well, what's the benefit of that? The benefit of it is that if a lot of foreigners have to remit money to places that they live, and that those transactions cost money. So if you had a situation like this, it's much cheaper. Say you need to remit $1,000 to a person in Africa or South America, Mexico, China, anywhere in the world, and instead of you going to Western Union or wiring money through your bank or taking, other easy way would be to have a bank account that's connected in this country and then you just deposit the money. But say, for instance, you don't have all that, you can just send them Bitcoin, one transaction between you and them, Bitcoin, bam. And if they'll have in their country a Visa card that's connected and they can spend the money and they have access to it, they'll be able to withdraw it within their own currency and it'll deduct the Bitcoin and do the calculations. But the fees are much cheaper. So that's just one aspect of what the blockchain technology does. And Bitcoin is one of them. And then you have, Litecoin. And people will ask, well, what's Litecoin? What's Bitcoin? These are the cryptocurrencies, and these are just one technology on the blockchain. And, the Litecoin there's some differences. And the differences is the amount of transactions, how fast those transactions, things like that. But Bitcoin is more widely accepted right now. That's the one that's really accepted. And, this all started in 2009 with Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is supposedly a fictitious person. He doesn't exist. He doesn't, and they started this Bitcoin thing. And it's like an open source code that they wrote. And they put it on the blockchain, and it has basically a hex key within each block, and it goes back. You have people who are miners who basically tend to the blockchain and the things that are on the chain. Basically, what they do is certify that it is what it is, basically, and that's how you have an open, certification of things. It's like a bunch of people who certify these transactions, certify that it's a part of the original block, and there's no way because of that to actually go and try to finagle that, because you would have to go all the way through to the first original block, and that's kind of like impossible, and you would need a bunch of people to all conspire. I mean, and it's just an impossible thing to do the way that the technology is set up. So it's Litecoin it was announced in 2011, and just a better version of Bitcoin. It does better things. I mean, there are limits to each one of these coins. Bitcoin has a 21 million coin limit, where Litecoin is 84 million. The block time is 2.5 minutes versus 10 minutes as far as Bitcoin. Um, that's just some of the things. Like I said, who was it created by? So Bitcoin is more of an open source, where Charles Lee, who was an engineer for Microsoft, is actually the creator of the Litecoin, and so you have an actual person, an actual team of people who are in charge of the code or things like that, and understanding what's going on. So that's one thing that you can look at too. That, so there's a lot of different things to look at as far as Bitcoin and Litecoin. So, and then you have the other, because basically the top things right now are Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. Now, Earthium, it wants to be like a world computer. It just basically wants to be uh, another network, bigger than what the internet is, and stuff like that. But a decentralized computer throughout the world. So let me look at this. And that's basically, what Earthium is. It's a decentralized thing. But how people are making money are, each one of these things have a coin or a token that you can invest in. Earthium, I think, is about 450 right now. It went up to about 500 or something like that yesterday. I don't know, a lot of y'all, I know there was a lot of news the last couple of days on Bitcoin, because it went up to 11,002. Since it's dropped back down to 9,500. Earthium is at 422. Litecoin is at 81. Litecoin had went up to like 98, and I think Ethereum. I'm sorry, I'm saying that's wrong. Ethereum. It went up to about almost 500, and that's how you make your money. You invest in. You take your dollars. You can invest as little as $1, $2. You open up a account on Coinbase, and you go in there, and it basically asks you basic questions. You give a debit card or your bank information, and then you're allowed to move money from your bank into Coinbase, and you can buy. Now, your bank will charge you some fees for transferring the money. I mean, so you have to look at that, and you have to, when you're investing, you have to dilute the money that you're paying for both to buy the Bitcoin and from your bank, and you need to dilute that, because you have to look at those costs before you can actually make any money. But I mean, this stuff is going up, and by the hour. I mean, and it's interesting, because it's been days where this stuff has went up $1,000 in a day and stuff like that. Today, it's been a pullback since yesterday. A lot of people were taking profits because it went, to 11.2, which that's basically the same thing happens in the stock market. A stock will go up, and you'll see people start pulling the profits out because they've made money and they want to secure their profits, and then they turn around and the stock lowers. But you have to look at this as uh, a buying opportunity. It's actually a buying opportunity. That's how I'm looking at it, because this is only at, they say, about a quarter% of use. It's not big. It's not that big, but everybody is getting involved. I believe the Nasdaq is going to start allowing trading uh, on the index of this in 2018. So it's becoming mainstream. Um, and I definitely believe that you can make a lot of money. You know what I mean? And you can obtain some kind of financial freedom, something by dealing with this. Please get in the game. Do not overlook this. Do not stand on the sidelines. This is what I guess you would say the next internet. This is the next thing that is about to happen within our lifetime that I think that we can be, a part of, and we can basically, make money off of it some kind of way. And it's not like it's taking, where a lot of those kind of things, when the internet, when Facebook, you look at Facebook, people that made money on Facebook, they put in hundreds of thousands of dollars at first. The money it cost to get in was so high that the regular average person just you know, couldn't be a part of it. But now it's like anybody can be a part of it. I mean, this thing may touch, these are some of the things I'm looking at right now that say that, it may touch asset management, insurance claims, payments, cross-border payments. They're even talking about using it as smart property to register mortgages and things like that. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar. At one time, a couple years ago, it's probably still going on today, where people were actually, taking people homes by re-recording the deeds and things like that, and then they would have to fight in the court system to get the home that they actually owned or paid for years ago. And that's one thing that you can look at too, that is supposed to affect. So if you record a mortgage, the only way that you couldn't finagle that mortgage, because everything would have to go back to the original blockchain, the original contract, sort of say, And the same thing, it's supposed to improve lending too, like for people who aren't financially, like don't have good credit scores. They have something that they'll be able to put on the blockchain, which is called smart contracts. So that contract will be between you and that person, that which you're agreeing to pay this, and the third. So then, if you renege, it's no have to go back and forth to court, because the contract is there, is valid, and it is what it is. You owe this person X, Y, Z, and it could be secured with property or whatever. So if you renege and you don't pay, then they have a right to take the property down the road or take whatever, to liquidate it in order to get their money back. But that's one other thing that they're talking about. Even with your car keys, they're talking about, whereas though that smart codes and things, like where we have a physical key, and some of us have cars where, like I have a car, you have to push button start, but you don't have to put a physical key in. They're saying that they could use this technology basically not to even have that physical key, and people wouldn't be able to start your car, because you could use your phone and it would be connected to the blockchain, and the only way that you could verify that chain is through that particular phone. And then they could also make the phone where, though you couldn't just get into the phone with like a fingerprint, iris scanner. You would have to actually know and have that particular key. So it would be specific to you. And these are just some of the technologies that they're looking at, that smart appliances, supply chain sensors, the smart contracts, as I said, They're even looking at personal health care records could be encoded and stored in blockchain with private key, which would grant access only to the specific individuals. The same strategy could be used to ensure the research is conducted via HIPAA laws in a secure and confidential way. Recipients of surgeries could be stored on a blockchain and automatically sent to insurance providers as proof of delivery. The ledger, too, could be used for general healthcare management, such as supervising drugs, regulation compliant testing results, and managing healthcare supplies. Even they're talking about music, blockchain government, as we've seen in the 2016 election, Democrats are probably questioning the security of the voting system. The Green Party called for a recount in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan. Computer scientists say hackers can rig the electronic system to manipulate votes. The ledger will prevent this since votes become encrypted. Private individuals can confirm that their votes were counted and confirm who they voted for. The system saves money, by the way, for the government too. So if you look at this, I mean, uh, it's just not money. It's just not banking system. You know, they're talking about using this. This is a new technology, passports, personal identification, you name it. They're talking about. I even heard. I was listening to something the other night where they were saying that like they could take and use blockchain technology. So if you had like an electric car, and what would basically happen is you stopped at the light, under they would have decoding on the road that would charge the car and take the payment of the charge from the blockchain. I mean, the minds of these people that are doing this it's limitless of what they're talking about. And I guess that what a lot of people may have heard of the Internet of Things. That's what they're talking about, the Internet of Things. They're talking about progressing the Internet to a point that's far greater than what we think of, just shopping, using the services that we're using them for. But it's if you just look at this, and you have to be a part of it. You have to get in the mix of things. You have to invest in this. But there are scams out there, so you have to look out for people. Um, I'm starting to see a lot of like coins. People saying, "Well, I have this product, and we have an initial public offering of this coin," and but if they don't have a product, they don't have a product. So that's still just an idea. And you have to be wary of investing in just ideas because they don't have to pay off or they don't have to pan out. And another thing that they're doing, it's a company called Ripple who has a coin, XRP. Uh, and that's one of the cheaper ones, but one of the most popular ones. And a lot of people who are anti-government, they don't like this one because it is centralized. But Ripple plan is just to deal with the banks. They're not going to deal with me and you, but you can invest in it. So their plan is they built a coin, which is called XRP. It's about 25 cents right now to buy to get into. Um, you know, so that's what you can buy 1,000 coins for $250. And, when this thing first kicked off, it was a guy in Switzerland, I believe, a student. He brought 5,000 bitcoins for $12. This is a story that's widely known within the community. It's always talked about. So that 5,000 coins made him a multimillionaire. So you have something like Ripple now, who has XRP. You take $250 and buy 1,000 coins. Just sit it there. See where it's going to go. But the banks are actually have no choice unless another one technology comes along in the blockchain that does what Ripple does and does it faster. What Ripple has basically tried to conquer was the way that money is transferred between banks and countries. And they've done it. And they've done it successfully. Most wire transfers between countries or banks in other countries take about 3 to 4 days, and it ties up a lot of money. And they're saying it's tying up for the whole industry. It's in the tune of trillions of dollars because what it is, most if you say for instance I was in the Middle East and you were to send me a wire transfer, the banks in my bank here or your bank here will have to have money actually on hand in that system overseas to secure the fact that they're actually going to give you the money. So, and that takes 3 to 4 days. So what happened, and it's a system. I believe they said that it goes all the way back to the Telegram. It's the same system, but it's a company called Swift who has the monopoly on this. So what happens is all this is tied up for a couple days before this money is released. What Ripple has done is use the blockchain to basically say, okay, this is the money. The money is checked throughout the nodes, and this is done in like they're saying less than a minute. It's done. So you don't have to have money tied up. You don't have to go through all this rigmarole. Money can transfer from here to there. So what they're doing is what would happen is this. Say a bank in South America, they would buy XRP, the coin. The bank here would have XRP too. So what they're trading is XRP between each other, and then when the XRP gets to the bank in South America, they take the amount of the XRP and interchange it into fiat currency. And that's the way it works, and the volume will decrease because that's the only thing about with XRP. It doesn't increase. There's only a certain amount of coins. So as more banks, I think it's like 120 banks right now throughout the world that are a part of it, and they're growing. I think American Express, that's the technology that they have brought on to do their transactions. This is big. This is really big. So you're investing in something that is on the ground floor. It's like, and it is speculative. I'm not going to say that you could lose money because just like with the internet, when the bubble burst, we look around now, you only have a couple companies that are, still around from that time. A lot of companies went under. But you have to, with anything, you spread yourself. So you buy a little Ethereum, a little Litecoin, a lot of Bitcoin, XRP. And then if you want to, you go to the stock market. You have companies like IBM. And like I'm saying, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a stock person. I do invest myself. But I just want to share this information because it's so intriguing at this point. It's so, it's just wow. It's interesting that you can get in and make money, and people are becoming millionaires right now. And if you listen and, you go back and you hear all the things that I said that this can be a part of, it's just that it's a limited possibilities of the amount of things that can actually happen and what it's going to affect. But yeah, there are going to be losses. There are going to be things that probably go under, things that don't go as far, don't go as well. But right now, it's a great time. It's a good time to get in. And like I was just saying, you have IBM, you have some of the chip makers, NVIDIA, Intel. You can invest in those kind of things. The stock market, they say, of 2018, they're going to start, be able to invest in the index. But, it's up to you what you want to do. Now, Coinbase, they have something that's a little bit intriguing where if you put your money in Coinbase and then you transfer those coins into their vaults, because that's another thing people are, afraid of. Oh, well, what happens if somebody comes in and they steal my cryptocurrency? But they have a 2-day system, that you can use, and your money won't be able to get out of there until 2 days, but you still have access to it. And with that, it's also insured. So that's one of the most intriguing things about using the company Coinbase. And there's a lot of people, as far as their board, a lot of financial people, big names. I think one of them was like the guy who was in charge of the Fed finance when President Clinton or Bush and Clinton, something like that. But just look into it. And like I said, I'm going to leave the link for the group to Dr. Boyce Watkins group on Facebook. He has a lot of things coming up. There's a lot of free information he's been putting out. The group has a lot of information. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in the group, and there's a lot of things coming through that group. You just have to take the time and read, and maybe look at some videos. Uh, Princeton University, they have a course that I'm taking right now, and it's totally free. And that course is on Concourse, but you can look up Princeton University and you put in Princeton University and a course on Bitcoin technology and blockchain, and it's going to tell you everything that's going on, how it is, just if you want to get knowledgeable about it and what you're doing, and maybe you want to change your career because they're going to need people in this field. It is it, it's exciting times right now. This is the internet bubble of my adulthood. I guess I would say. This is where I think it's going to be, and there's when things are going to move towards. So I'm just surprised when I talk to people. There's a lot of people who don't know anything about it, who have no clue about it. So I just decided to do this live, and like I said, if anybody needs any information, what I can help you with or guide you towards, you can check it out. One Philly Jawn at gmail.com. Check out t-shirttrack.com. That's one of our sponsors. Accessoryjunkie.com for jewelry and bracelets and accessories for women. Um, this is Philly Jawn, and I'm here trying to spread love, and I hope you can spread love. And if you don't like it, then leave me a comment, drop me some information, let me know what it is. We can have a conversation either live or through email, or I'll put your questions up. If you send me questions or dislikes or whatever, I damn sure will put them on any casting that I'm doing. So but please share, please like, please inform people of cryptocurrency, what's going on, and this ain't something that you got to keep in your back pocket. You can share with everybody because, like I said, it's only 0.25% of the population who is actually, involved in this right now. It's not like a lot of people at all. So I'm asking anybody, if you got information, something that I don't know, I said something wrong, um, please inform me. Please, because I'm like a sponge right now. I'm trying to take all of this in, and it's a I think a beautiful day. It's a new day out here because I don't see nothing. I've been investing in stocks for probably about 10 years or so. I made money off of it. I see property. That's another hard asset that you can put your money in, and that's another thing. People need to understand that you don't keep money in money because money deflates. You have to put your money in assets in order for it to grow. And that's a simple concept that I don't know if a lot of people understand. If you hold a dollar today and you hold it for the next 10 years, that same dollar will not have the same spending power. So it's better to put that dollar into a hard asset where the asset can grow. That's just a reality of what it is. I mean, I just seen a picture on Instagram today where somebody said, well, this is what a dollar brought us in our childhood. They had like a 25-cent hug, a 25-cent bag of chips and sunflower seeds and some gum. That was a dollar. I think the hugs are 50 cents now, and I know the chips are like 35 cents. So just look at that. That's a simple form of inflation where if I held that dollar from that day to this day and didn't put it in any kind of hard asset to basically gain some kind of money, it would be worth less. And that's like just I don't. These are the lessons that we all have to learn, and I know that I paid to learn them by getting some kind of education. So if you can get this for free by just looking at listening to a podcast or a video or something like that, and just pass it on to somebody. Don't put it in your back pocket. Far too long, us as a people, we have been, not given certain information, and that's what's killing us. We don't have information. Information is power, and that's key. You know, a lot of people and a lot of things I see on here on the internet, everybody wants you to give them $50, $99, this, and the third, for them to give you information that they receive from somebody else. You know, me myself, yeah, we all need to make a living. We all need some kind of income. But my thing is, I rather help you get with the information that I have to get ahead. So hopefully you can come back. You may help me in the long run, or you're going to help the next person. But I think it'll all come back tenfold. I don't think you have to charge and, you know, try to make a living off of every piece of information that you have. It's just that we have to give some of this away. And 9 times out of 10, what I find is most of these people that are selling information, if you do the research and the legwork, you can find the same information for free. It's all is available. It's just that they have packaged it in a way that it's easier for you to obtain. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. That's the problem. They don't want to do the work. They just want to click on X, Y, Z. And that, you know, we have to get away from that too, because that's what makes you basically lose money. Because if you don't want to do work, you don't want to do leg work, you don't want to do anything, and you just want it easy, well, you're going to pay for popcorn in order to see the movie. And that's just the reality of it. You want to pay for popcorn to watch a movie. You know, why not create the movie so you can have people watch the movie and pay you for the popcorn? It's just do a little work. That's all you got to do. Just do a little work. You know, just like this video and my podcast. You know, I get views, I get hits. I can look at the analytics, but I'm quite sure just as many views and hits as people that pass this by that don't even wake up, they don't even look at it. They just be like, all right, well, I ain't interested in that. I could care less. But they're the same people that tell you they after a bag. You're not getting a bag by working a 9 to 5. You're not. I mean, you could take that money and invest it and make it grow for you, but you're growing somebody else's idea, somebody else's business. Point blank, period. And that's the reality of it. You know, everybody says, well, oh, we gotta have, some people have to work. Yes, some people have to work for a time. It should be a cycle. It should be, you work this situation until you got something to be able to hire some people, and they work for you. And, you know, this should be a ongoing cycle, not stagnant to the point where this is just where I work and that's that. You know, you should be able to provide and do things for yourself. You don't have to just work for somebody else. But it's information involved, you know, like anybody want to ask me anything, business information, anything of starting a business, how do you incorporate, especially in the state of Delaware, how do you, you know, open up a business account, how do you live stream, how do you podcast, how do you do this, how do you do that. I have information that I'm willing to give to anybody. And like I said, just hit me with an email, onephilyjawn@gmail.com, and or hit me with a comment. Please like and subscribe. Hit that like button. That's very important. That's the analytics of this. I need likes. I need subscribers. You know, um, just carry on, people. Thank you very much for your time.